Hi, this is Uwa from dataplan.ng. Today we're going to talk about Glow's offering for borrowing credit. It's called Borrow Me Credit. Now this is the second video in a series of 5. Last time we spoke about MTN's offering. You can have a look on our YouTube page or on Facebook to find that particular video. But this one we're going to talk about Borrow Me Credit. Now let me show you how you get to the information on Glow's website. So from the homepage, click the homepage. You go to value added services, that's VAS. Then you go to borrow me credit. Click on borrow me credit. There you go. So it says here, if you're out of airtime, you can borrow now, pay later. Right. Let me give you the lowdown on this borrow me credit feature. Borrow me credit is a service that allows you to request for airtime when you have run out of airtime and you're expected to pay back on your next recharge within a specified period. For you to be eligible, you need to have been a loyal and consistent subscriber on Glow for at least 4 months and have a good usage history. Now, the minimum amount you can borrow is 50 Naira and the maximum amount you can borrow is 1,000 Naira. To qualify for 50 Naira, your average monthly usage must have been 200 Naira over the previous 4 months. And to qualify for 1,000 Naira, your average monthly usage must have been 5,000 Naira over the 12 months, prior 12 months. So that's, you would have spent at least 60,000 Naira for the previous 12 months. Other options are 50, 100, 200, 500, as you can see on the screen. And it says here, to get specific denominations for any of these credit options, these are the shortcodes you can use. So here it's *321 *50 hash and *321 *500 hash. You can also borrow online. Now, what can you do with your credit when you've borrowed? You can call all other networks, you can make international calls, and you can browse. So just like any other credit, it's just that this one is borrowed. And you must settle any unpaid loans before you can apply for a new one. So it's different from MTN's version, which gives you a credit limit and you can borrow as many times as you want up to that limit. With Glow, you borrow, you must pay back what you've borrowed before you can borrow again. So even if you've spent 60,000 Naira over the previous 12 months and you qualify for 1,000 Naira, if you borrow 100, you cannot borrow more, or the 900 or whatever, without paying back the 100. So you need to pay back the 100 and then apply for the credit again, and hopefully you get the next set. Now let's go to the frequently asked questions. So here they list the different things. I think, forget this pin, I think that's an error on their page. So it should be *321 *500 hash. That's what it says. Well, for the 500 option. Okay. Now, the other thing you'd notice on here is that when you borrow, they give you 72 hours to repay. You must pay back within 72 hours. If you do not pay back within 72 hours, you will lose access to the service until that amount is paid back, and it will affect your credit rating with Glow. And Glow looks at your credit rating before they offer you more money in the future. So if borrowing is something you're going to be doing often, make sure you clear your debts within the 72 hours, otherwise you may not be able to borrow more in the future. To borrow, you don't need a minimum amount in your account, you just need to be eligible following the eligibility criteria that I've mentioned earlier. And if you change your SIM card, like this question talks about, if you change your SIM card in between the time you borrowed, then they will carry over the credit to your new SIM card, provided it's within the grace period, which is 72 hours. Now, the sting in the tail is this 15% service charge. So 15% service charge is a huge amount, but essentially what that means is, if we go back to the previous page, is if you borrow 100 Naira, they charge 15%, which means you only get 85. So for 100 Naira, time on network must be at least 10 months. And you get that amount. And this is the 100 Naira, 1,000 Naira option. Time on network is 100 months, and you get 850 850 naira. Wow, 100 months. Gosh, that's close to 10 years. So that's a lot. They've changed the terms a bit. Okay. The airtime advance is subject to a service charge as mentioned below. Okay, this is some of the most confusing information I've ever seen. Now up here, this is the eligibility matrix here. So 50 naira, time on network 4 months, average monthly refill 0, average monthly usage 200. And service charges, the airtime advanced is subject to a service charge as mentioned below. So 50 naira, time on network 5 months, average monthly refills 42 naira 50 kobo. Interesting. But anyway, this seems to be equivalent to 85% of what you're trying to borrow. So if you 1,000 naira, they give you 850. 200 naira, they give you 170. But when you pay back, you must pay back the full amount. So it's like any loan. You borrow and you must pay back. The interest rate is 15%. Okay, so this is where I give you my verdict from dataplan.ng. I think, as always, protect your income, protect your money. We're about getting value for money. And I think, we think, that 15% is a lot to pay. Now, if you're in a situation where you must make a phone call quickly, now you can either look for a hotspot and then make a call through WhatsApp, or you can flash the other end. If you're not able to flash somebody, ask your friend, borrow a friend's phone, borrow a stranger's phone if you can, or if you, on some networks like 9mobile, you can actually get the recipient of the call to pay for the call. So that is an option. But at 85% is a lot. If you must borrow, just borrow the minimum amount you need, get that cleared, and carry on using your service. And remember, if you don't clear it within 3 days, you will not have access to the service. And that's it from dataplan.ng. See you next time.